Opening with the king's pawn controls the center and opens up the light-squared bishop and queen, often leading to sharp games. The Sicilian defense controls the d4 square with c-pawn. Knight e2 prepares the d4 pawn push, but is an unusual developing square for the knight because it blocks the light-squared bishop. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. White develops the knight and attacks the center. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. This is an equal trade. Takes back. e5 takes space in the center and immediately attacks the knight on d4. Knight db5 gets the knight away from danger and threatens the strong knight d6 check. d6 stops the threat of knight d6 plus, supports the e5 pawn, and allows the light-squared bishop to develop. Bishop g5 pins the knight on f6 and threatens knight c3 d5. a6 kicks the knight off of the active b5 square. Knight a3 retreats the attacked knight. It will look for a new square on c2 after white plays c2 c3 or c2 c4. b5 gains space on the queen side and threatens to fork the knights with b5 b4. Knight d5 places the knight on a center square and attacks the pinned f6 knight. Bishop e7 develops the bishop and prepares castling. Bishop takes f6 captures the knight, attacks the bishop, and increases white's control over the d5 square. Bishop takes f6 captures the bishop without doubling the f-pawns and opens up the e7 square for black to use. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This allows the opponent to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This overlooks an opportunity to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This misses a better way to develop a bishop off its starting square. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This blocks black's pawn. Castling gets the king out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. Both kings are castled and ready for the middle game. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Recaptures. The piece finds a new active square, putting the piece on a blockade square. This overlooks an opportunity to prepare a retreat square for the king. This threatens to create a passed pawn. This creates space for the king to move in case it is attacked. This misses an opportunity to create a passed pawn. This loses material. This wins material. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This is the only good move. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This is not the right idea. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. A solid recapture by black, bringing a new piece into play. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This protects the attacked pawn. This overlooks a better way to tactically win a pawn. This moves the rook to safety. That pawn capture will win material after all trades are complete. Takes back. Recaptures. This overlooks an opportunity to offer an equal trade of pieces. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This is the only move that works. This forces the opponent to isolate a pawn. Takes back. This is a fair move. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. A very strong play. This blocks black's pawn. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. The passed pawn moves towards its goal, putting the piece on a blockade square. That pawn was free for the taking. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. One of the best moves, pushing a passed pawn. Very precise. This overlooks an opportunity to activate the king by getting it off of the back rank. Black's piece has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This activates the king in the endgame by getting it off of the back rank. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This defends the attacked pawn. This overlooks an opportunity to use a rook to counter a passed pawn. This is an equal trade. Recaptures. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This move puts the rook on a safer square. This steps away from the checking rook. That was a free pawn. This is the strongest option. This evades the check from the rook. Right on target. This steps away from the checking rook. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. That pawn was free for the taking. This puts a rook behind a passed pawn, helping it to promote. A solid choice. This evades the check from the rook. This threatens to tactically win a pawn. This prevents the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. A very strong play. This blocks the check from an opposing rook.